Hello and welcome to the show. Bandwidth and bitrate is something many of us have become more familiar with over the last year, where we may have been relying on home internet to work with. The more bandwidth you have, the better the bitrate you'll be able to stream and the better viewing experience everyone gets. But if you're remote and maybe working with cellular or low bandwidth supply, then if you don't want to compromise your output, then you need a good solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you do this whilst at the same time making streaming more environmentally friendly? Again, without reducing quality. Well, that's exactly what today's guest is talking about. We're delighted to welcome Sergio from iSize. Firstly, Sergio, we saw that you'd secured another $6.3 million of funding, and this time it's to tackle the environmental impact of streaming. Tell us about that.
Hi, Jens. Thank you for having me today. Yes, you're right. We're very happy to have closed this funding round led by Octopus Ventures, as it marks the key important milestone in our growth strategy. And as you correctly pointed out, with video representing 82% of the total internet traffic by 2022, and the whole COVID situation putting us locked in the houses and watching more video at home, all the clients are demanding, seamless experience and the highest qualities, highest resolutions, which obviously is putting a lot of pressure on video streaming companies, on gaming companies, as the cost of streaming is going through the roof. And also, there is a lot of pressure on networks, which demands more data centers, which, as you correctly pointed out, is impacting environment gratefully. Yeah. So our solution is there to try to help at least a bit of that.
So let's go into a bit more detail. Why would someone use, how would someone use iSize technology to help reduce their carbon footprint?
So obviously, all of the pressures that I've just mentioned are across different verticals of entertainment and media space, whether that being video on demand, whether that being live, whether it's gaming, and therefore all these companies are trying to find internally or through the suppliers trying to find the solutions that will not interrupt their services and will not need to change the drivers and all of the receiver devices and so on. And this is exactly what iSize is doing. It's the first company to be doing so.
So how is it actually working it out? Are you using some sort of artificial intelligence to do this?
Yes, absolutely. So if you think about what MP3 has done in the 90s, and they played with the psychoacoustic thresholds of our hearing system, and they're trying to understand what we can hear and what not into very detailed frequencies. We are the first companies that is using deep learning and artificial intelligence to predict and to understand what to kind of reverse engineer human vision, to understand what quality we understand and what not, and therefore really delete those pixels and amplify those, or attenuate those pixels and amplify those that we believe are important for our eye. And as such, we're able to save bitrate and bandwidth on average 25%, but in some occasions even up to 50%, really depending on whether it's a video on demand, live, gaming, and all other. And what is important is that our technology is fully codec agnostic. It doesn't require any changes on the receiver device, and as such is making us a commercially very viable solution for the companies to talk to us immediately and start rolling out our technology to absorb all these benefits and in the same time help the environment.
No, interesting. It is a big topic, but I guess I don't know how much detail you want to or can go into, but does a reduction in bits really equate to carbon footprint reductions in reality? Is it that simple? And how does that happen?
Well, just to put things in perspective, so for example, from SD to UHD or from HD to 4K, it's 4 times more data and 4 times more power unless you do some optimizations. It's 4 times less power
okay.
and more CPU and GPU power in some data center around the world, which spends electricity on that, on heating, on the cooling of those, and all of this really is starting to hurt in the environment to the extent that is close to the carbon footprint, if not even more than the airline industry.
Yes, interesting.
How do I, as a company, then, as a broadcaster, as a streamer, how do I implement it? If I don't need to change, any of my existing, I've got to implement it. Do I just bolt it on?
So we already have some tier 1 customers, and this funding round is going to help us to grow the talent, and that will be able to help us to continue to improve our existing technology and also to continue to innovate. And how we engage with our customers is that we go through some kind of evaluation portal that we give for free, and then whenever we show these benefits to them, we engage into some sort of an evaluation agreement that they can test on premises, and they can capture all these benefits, prove them internally, and then it's a relatively easy rollout and risk-free deployment to an extent, without requiring a lot of engineering costs to deploy.
So looking towards the future now, Sergio, bandwidth, latency and security, they all impact on streaming and the services relying on it. How do you see the future of the technology and for iSize?
Well, for us, this funding round is giving the company really the ability to continue with hiring all the technical and business talent. As I mentioned, they will allow to improve the technology and to continue to add to different solutions that will help that purpose of reducing the bitrate, reducing the cost, so they can add more videos, they can add more users, and they can with that reduce the impact of the environment. Bear in mind that the internet now is becoming easily accessible to much more users than 10 years ago, and all of them are demanding the high quality. So the pressure on the networks are enormous.
Thank you, Sergio. That's really interesting. And yeah, anyone watching this, I'd urge you to go and look at the iSize website, where there's a really good homepage demonstration of the bitrate lowering using iSize technology compared to not using iSize technology. And it's a really good visual way of actually seeing what iSize are doing. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please do also have a look at kitplusshow.co.uk for information on the fast approaching face-to-face KitPlus show being held at Media City this summer. And finally, many thanks to Mediaproxy, who support KitPlus TV, and you can find out all about them at mediaproxy.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Sergio, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you all.